All right. How's your morning? How's your afternoon so far?
It's going good.
Good. I'm going to turn on my video here. You can keep yours off. That's just fine. Good. Well, good job with your draft. So what I first look at, partly because it's easy to do, is just look at the formatting and see, does it take up most of the space on the page? Yeah. The margins are thin, but it's fine. That can work. Looks like you spent some time trying to format it so it fits. And then the professional summary follows the education, follows the work experience, leadership, skills. Okay, good. By the way, for your job search, I think a huge thing that you can do for your job search is to grab the list of all the Enactus sponsors. So all the companies that support Enactus, I would recommend reaching out to all of them. And we can talk about how to do that a little bit later, okay?
Okay.
All right. So what I like what you've done here. So self-motivated, let's just go top down now and have a look at this, starting with the professional summary. Self-motivated, results, result-driven. We say results-driven, results-driven. MS graduate with passion for developing in a management consulting, developing as a management consulting professional. Excellence, excellent, I would say excellent. Excellence is a noun, and so 是个名词, so we need to use a 形容词 to describe the 名词. So excellent, marketing expertise and problem-solving ability consistently demonstrated in previous positions. Okay, that's good. Where I think this will change eventually for us is in how specific it is. And what I mean by that is this could become somebody with a passion for digital transformation in the consumer and retail market. Okay. So, but let's take, because what the resume, when it's in its final form, should reflect a focus. Now, this can work. Okay, this can work as a draft, and you can use this. And when people finally ask for a resume from you, you send this. That's okay. Generally, what we want to do is we want to target the resume to the job description. What I mean by that is just simply adjusting the professional summary to be better matched to the job description. And so if there's a job description, if we wanted to take a job description as an example, if we were to go onto Google and say digital transformation, for example, there are going to be jobs out there. And this happens to be one in St. Louis. And what they're looking to do for the specialist role is advancing digital transformation through impacting the cultural digitization across organizations. So you might say something like that in your draft here. I'll show you what I mean by that.
Okay.
About advancing digital transformation through impacting cultural cross organizations. And then I mean, it could be just that. That could be your sentence. And you could have something else here specific to digital transformation that you're doing now in your current role. Passionate about advancing digital transformation across organizations. And then you might have a sentence like this. Interacts. And again, you might change this depending on the job search, the job description. But you don't want to change your whole resume. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Collaborates. Oops. What happened here? I don't need that. Sorry. Okay. Interacts and collaborates across business lines to optimize digital rollout for I don't know. Have you ever done a digital rollout before?
I did digital marketing before, but not
So,
digital transformation.
Okay. So you might think about understanding what the term digital rollout means, because if you're introducing digitization to your clients in the restaurant industry, that is a form of digital rollout.
Okay.
Okay, so why don't you make sure you take a note to Google digital
Rollout and what that means, and where what you've done falls within that definition, and then maybe any experience outside of that definition of digital rollout. So then what we would do in a situation like this is we would go in here to these qualities, and then we would change these to reflect the needs of the job description. So I doubt that Amarin job that I just described probably doesn't have the word entrepreneurship in it. Okay, it may, maybe not. Let's see here. If we read more here, so
co-worker support. Let's see, workspace redesign. What else? Social collaboration tools. So each year there's going to be a bullet point that's going to be relevant. So collaboration. So some of these words come to mind being useful. Digital strategy. Right, so this term would come in here, and we would put there. And you don't need to be a master at any of these things. The idea is, here's kind of the trick, is you want to tell them.
You want to tell them what they want to hear. You want to provide the message that they want to hear from a candidate. And if their job description talks about digital strategy, then you want to incorporate that as one of your bullet points. And there could be others from that job description. We don't need to make this resume about that job description. The idea
is I want to illustrate some of these points here is that you want to take keywords from a job description, just like
we do in the training, and apply them to the resume. And so let's assume that we've done that.
And we have the qualities and the professional summary aligned to reflect the language of the job description. Okay? Does that make sense? Are you still there?
Okay.
Any questions about
that?
No.
Digital strategy. And then if you've seen, and let's make it simpler. If you've seen, so here's some things that are coming out of this conversation is that if you want to work in digital transformation, it doesn't have to be just as a consultant. It can be within a company. This term can change. You could keep this as management consultant. Okay, I'm not saying you have to change it. I don't want you to start thinking that you have to do something else than management consulting. But what you can do here is this can be very specific. You can leave it just as we had it at the beginning of the conversation, and that's okay. All right? That's what I've got here. All right, that's okay. This is fine.
But it can be very powerful to customize the professional summary and the qualities a little bit when you're applying, okay?
Okay.
Now, I think education at this point, since you've graduated, you can bring this down to the bottom because you basically have, like if you go to somebody's website, you basically, and we'll do an illustration here. Well, let me just do it's going to be a very simple illustration. Kind of, you want to get, when you look at something, a document, you want to get, if you're careful about your resume, you want people to see the things that matter right away, immediately. Like let's just go to the Google website. This is an example. You don't have to scroll down in order to find the search bar. Would you agree?
Yes.
Or if I go to Coca-Cola, the first thing that I see, what do they want me to see as soon as I open the page? They want me to see this image. And they want me to see how they're globalized, how they're ethnically fluent, they're international, they're associated with happiness. There's the brand right in the center at the front, community, all of that. And then below, what we call below the fold, see how you can scroll down here? The stuff down here that I can't see is the less important stuff. Okay, well, and there it is. Basically, you could get to wherever you want to go from here. And there, I mean, this is a very complex organization, right? Very complex global organization. And look how simple their website is. And so they want you to go, let's say we go to the United States then. What do you see? What do they want you to see? Immediately, right? They want to share a mission statement. Boom. So for you, the resume is the same. What we see at the top has to relate to how you solve the company's problem. How do you solve the company's problem? And that comes about through your qualities, your professional summary, and then your work experience. That's why I recommend education going to the bottom. Your education, my education, does not say anything about what kind of problem I solve directly.
Okay.
So we bring this to the bottom. Very good work experience, even if it, very good work experience, no matter what the work experience, it needs to go to the bottom. Okay. If they're curious, they can go and have a look. Now we have this type of experience. Now this is becoming, okay, maybe they've seen the terms here in the qualities and they like what they see. Now they're willing to read more. Mini table tech. Let's take a look at this really quickly. I'm just curious about what mini table tech, what they say they are.
Yes. Let's do that.
Okay. And the corporate name, see if they have a privacy statement or just curious. Okay, that's fine. New standard to engage with customers. AI powered. Okay. What I might actually do, because this is a company that no one has heard of in the sense of being a world famous company, I might come in here and enter such a phrase. And I would probably not italicize that if I might, and then I would remove the bold there, and then I would move my March present up to the second line. I'll bring it up here to be like that. And we'll see if we have enough space.
I can't see the document.
Oh, sorry. Share the screen again. Sorry about that. So this is what I would do. I would take, so AI is a big term, right? Like you don't want to miss the connection like we talked about before. You're at this point here at the intersection of data and digital and the surface of, say, the restaurant business, okay, or retail business. You're here, interacting here, and you don't want to miss that there is, artificial intelligence as another cross-section for what you're doing. Artificial intelligence is a big thing now, and digital transformation and what management consultants are doing today has a lot to do with artificial intelligence. So having that there, I think, is helpful. We'll see if the space allows for it to stay there. Business development manager supported the sales team to increase client base 100% in 3 months by developing and implementing a new sales strategy. Okay, that could be good. I like how you had the results by the action taken. What is this new sales strategy?
So before the COVID, we actually do the reservation system for restaurants. But after March, most businesses cannot really get dine-in customers. So we start to do the online ordering system. So that's the transfer. So before we do the walk-in, and now we do most businesses by phone call.
I'm going to take a look here, products here. So AI-powered commerce SaaS platform designed for restaurants for us. SaaS platform. So these are some key lingo here. So supported sales to increase client base. I might say something like, just playing around here with the terms, the terms, right? So onboarded, let's see. I would say something like, supported, increase, 100%, increase client base over 3 in 4. Now what you said is good. So I'm just trying to play around with what this might look like if we use some of the actual terms. You know what I mean? Of the business. Yes. So supported 100% increase in client base for AI-powered e-commerce SaaS solution in 3 months by developing and implementing a new sales strategy. And then this new sales strategy, you could potentially be more clear about what that actually is in the term, in the parlance of business, what that might be. Online ordering, online, what is the supported 100% increase in client base for AI-powered e-commerce solution in 3 months by developing and implementing digital transformation for local restaurants, bars, and coffee shops. And do you know do you have like a size of client that you help with, how much in revenue? For example, with under, say, 5 million in revenue. Do you guys have like a target type of client that you're trying to reach out to?
Now most of our clients are Chinese restaurants, but now we try to expand the market to like Western restaurant.
And do you know, when you choose which restaurants to reach out to, how do you decide which restaurants to offer your services to? Like now, if you're reaching out to a Western restaurant, how are you picking which one? How are you targeting them?
Actually, we just start to try it, so we don't really have a clear strategy for that.
Okay. So you might say something like that with typically under, you might understand kind of what the revenue profile of these restaurants is. You don't have to have that, but I kind of like, there's 2 reasons why I thought about adding this. One, I like how it can give another metric, another number. I also see that there's this extra white space here, and I'm tempted to fill it in.
Okay.
And if you could talk about, if you could understand with your boss, I mean, what is the revenue? Maybe it's 20 million. Maybe what's your sweet spot in terms of affordability? And you don't, that doesn't have to be I mean, you could just say that too as part of, like, typically under 20 million in revenue. I'm not sure what that revenue number is, but I kind of like how that's there, and you can play with that. Delivered a projected 50% reduction in marketing expense by preparing a marketing research report of potential market. So for a potential market. So the grammar here needs to be fixed a little bit, but I like what you did. Delivered something by preparing market research report. Delivered a 30% reduction in marketing expense by preparing a market research report. So first of all, I want to ask you, how would you explain that in an interview? How did you deliver a possible reduction in marketing expense by writing a report? And it's okay to say.
At the beginning, we try to pitch both Chinese restaurant and Western restaurant, but the thing is, our online order system is basically based on WeChat. So customer can just scan QR code using their WeChat and place their order. So it's super convenient if they're like Chinese, because they use WeChat very often.
Right.
But for most like Western customers, they don't really have the habit to scan QR code. So it's totally strange for them. So at the beginning, it was very hard for them. So we did that kind of market research, and we decided to give up the Western restaurant at that point.
Okay.
And after that, we get like 200 new businesses of Chinese restaurant.
Okay. So how does that decrease your marketing expense?
Yeah, so before that, we like have we do the Chinese market and the Western market for like half and half.
Mm-hmm.
But after we did the market research, we like kind of decide to give up the Western market at that point.
Okay. So we can say revamped marketing strategy to focus on QR. So I'm not sure exactly how you would describe that example. You might explore some of the technology behind QR codes and the cultural differences here. Revamp marketing strategy. To say you 50%. By eliminating non-QR code based by finding strategy by finding marketing strategy. Research. Research. Digital communication. Reduce marketing expense 50% by refining marketing strategy through research, which reduce marketing expense 50% by refining marketing strategy to research through research. By researching marketing strategy to target QR code friendly businesses. Something like that. It's not the best. I don't think the important thing so much is that you did the report. I mean, I think you did the research, and that's good. But what you really did is you refined the marketing strategy.
Yeah.
By refining marketing strategy to target QR code friendly businesses, or to focus expressly on QR code friendly businesses. Okay, fine. I think that's a little bit more. just a little bit more interesting and
Yes.
more descriptive than writing a report. You know, try to getting to the
Yes.
point is good. Increase client satisfaction from 3.6 to 5 on a 5 scale in 2 months by gathering and prioritizing product customer requirements for product improvement. Yeah, that's okay. It still doesn't seem like it's that specific. What product improvement are you talking about?
Yeah, so for my job, I need to like negotiate with customers and make sure like the system works all the time.
Mhm.
So when we communicate the details, so they may think like we should add some more function or like change the design to
Mhm.
make it more friendly to them. Yeah,
Mhm.
so that's kind of work.
Okay. And what new design and functionality did you achieve?
Like for the original version, so the businesses can only set like a standard like open time every day, but some told me like on weekends they work longer, so they need different setting on those days. So we like improve that part to make it more like customized for businesses.
Uh, order fulfillment. So some of the terms that are coming to mind here for me are order fulfillment, and customer checkout, um, e-commerce. So revamped e-commerce platform usability.
Can you switch back to the
Sorry,
British?
yeah, I apologize about that.
No problem.
So we revamped e-commerce platform usability. So raised. Do you happen to know how if that increased the so you increased the flexibility to change the opening times?
Yeah, and also like how to do the like how to offer discount for customers,
Right.
and like set different delivery area with different delivery fee. Yeah, so just that kind of like customized site setting.
Okay, so instead of saying 3.6 to 4.5 on a 5-point scale, I would say, let's just take a look at this. So 4.6 minus, sorry, 4.5 minus 3.6, oops, 4.5 minus 3.6, 0.9, divided, let's say, that's a 0.9% shift, and divided by 3.6, that's a 25% shift in the number. from 3.6 to 4.5. I'd say raise commerce. I would say something, trying to be a little bit more business-like in our words here as a first attempt.
Okay.
Raise e-commerce core product satisfaction, 25, raise satisfaction of with core e-commerce product 25% by delivering by implementing focused research implementing customer listening. Raise satisfaction with core e-commerce product 25% by implementing a customer listening initiative, which resulted in a new design and functionality allowing new which satisfaction with core e-commerce product 25% by implementing a customer listening initiative, which discovered for additional app functionality, flexibility. I'll leave it there for now. Let's keep going. Credico. Okay, Credico, what is that firm? Let's go find out what Credico is so that we can maybe add another phrase to the top so that it has something that people will be familiar with. Credico. Outsource sales. Okay, for the Fortune 50. What do these guys do here? You see how simple their websites are. They just want you to, really,
Yes.
want your resume to be kind of like that too. And then they get into meeting customers where they are, digital presence. Let's talk about Credico Wiki. Maybe they have a wiki, Randy Credico. No, Credico. Is there a company, very simple, independent? Is this the same firm? Yeah.
Yeah, same one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Independent field marketing company. I see. Are they in the United States?
Yeah, it's a national company, have multiple locations in the whole world.
Okay. Just trying to identify here what we could say. I think we got sales and marketing company, established independent field marketing company. So that we're trying to find those professional terms that we can add to your resume so that you speak more business language. Solutions. Okay, brand management. Sales and marketing.
I'm going to find the one phrase that would be the right to fit on your resume here. Field sales, field marketing agency. Direct marketing and sales specialist. Credico. So it's a direct marketing and sales specialist. Let's see if they're in the news anywhere. Not sure why we're getting this news. Marketing. Credico marketing. Field marketing agency. Okay, so I'm looking for a term that, sounds a little bit fancy. And I think we would say a leading global network
of independent sales offices providing face-to-face. So leading global network of direct sales. Let's see. I would say leading global network of independent. I would say like this. Leading global network of independent direct marketing, independent digital, independent. And then your title was corporate trainer. And I would say, well, that's not italics. Bring this to the front here. And then bring that over there. Okay, Credico, network of independent digital network. UK-based. UK-based. We could say it like that.
It's not UK based.
Okay, because it looks like it is.
No, the headquarters is in Chicago.
Okay, and then I think we have to be a little bit more specific about the company name if we can. If we go down to their legal, let's see here. That's their Credico Worldwide is probably their name. Their specific Credico USA LLC is probably and it probably is a UK-based firm, to be honest. Otherwise, they wouldn't say USA in parentheses. It looks like it is originally a UK company. Let's see here. Oh, by the way, all of this font here is a little bit too small. So I think maybe the mistake is in my, maybe the issue is with my template. This needs to be at least 11-point font, or else no one's going to read it. The 10-point font is too small. And so that's going to change things. And I'm going to have to probably ask you to go back and try to fix that font in some way, fix the formatting. We've looked at this. Let's see. So we have to go back and fix that at some point. Let's focus on bringing everything back to the 10-point font for now so I can work with it. Recognize this top 5% salesperson of 300 and not rankings by conducting B2B sales for Fortune 100 clients. Okay. Optimize team sales results by 20%. I would just say 20%. By training 5 team members on competition environment, industry trends, and strong listening, presentation, and closing skills. Training, I would just say, I would just pick team members and training 5 team members on, you don't have to have competition on and industry trends. Yeah, I'm trying to think about how to put this into one line. Optimized sales results, team sales results. I would say Google sales 20% by training team of 5. You don't need members. Team of 5. Team of 5
on industry trends, strong listening skills, presentation, and industry trends, and sales skills. These are all what that is. Listening, presentation, and closing, those are all sales skills. So,
Okay.
Industry trends, competitive environment. But I like that it's there. Closing and negotiation. Listening and closing skills. I like that. I also like, I don't like to use the word sales twice if I don't have to. Okay. Grew sales 20% by training team of 5 on industry trends, competitive environment, listening and closing skills. Okay. Listening is part of closing skills. So, you could keep them there or not, but we have space. IQ, IBA, formerly IMS Consulting, and then business analyst, intern, management consulting department. Okay, Shanghai collected 850 effective questionnaires. Market performance of a medicine product. So this is where your results by action starts to not. So collected 850 questionnaires on market performance of a medicine product for a pharmaceutical company. Okay, what was the result?
We just collect the data and then we analyze it and deliver a report.
And what did the report? What was the report about?
You can say the second bullet point and third.
Okay, so all right. So derived insights around what was the product?
The medicine product.
What kind of medicine?
It's for the let me check the name. The market is DMARDS, DMARDS, which means 1 second. Disease modifying anti-rheumatic drugs.
Anti what?
RHEUMATIC.
Okay. How many sales? How big was the market? $1? Do they sell $1 worth of product every year, or 100 million, or a billion?
Oh, let me check 1 second.
That's the kind of thing. So here's what I would say before we don't have to do that now, but so derived insights, and were you, okay, so helped optimized market access strategies for 800, 100 billion, 100 million medical I mean, it doesn't have to be medical product. By conducting comprehensive optimized market access strategies for medical product by conducting, what kind of analysis did you do?
What kind of analysis? We analyzed the sales performance and also compare with other competitors. And also we interviewed a lot of, we get a lot of data from patients and doctors. So for the patients, we know like their like characteristics, like the age, the like what kind of disease, that kind of thing. So it's a patient profile. And also for doctor, we know like what they think about this medicine, and what's their comments of it, and in what kind of situation do they use it, what's the indoors of it,
Okay.
that kind of thing.
I'm saying built comprehensive data set by issuing and putting results of 850 questionnaires. All right, so sales performance analysis. Built comprehensive data set by issuing, collecting, issuing, collecting 850 questionnaires. Supported team's creation of client deliverables, including creation of presentations, models, and dashboards. Let's see, drive insights. Summarized. Insights presentations, and model presentations, models, and dashboards. Delivery. We might be able to improve the number of metrics around that, the numbers, maybe not.
Yeah, it's
Right.
around 100 million. You can keep the number.
Okay. Let's see here. PricewaterhouseCoopers, winter analyst intern, Beijing. Assisted assisted 200 auditing and working papers for established automotive group. How big the papers for, and then this is just how many sales do they have, and whether it's like, 2 billion, automotive group. During busy season, it's not that important. There's a 200 plus auditing, audit working, let's see, working papers for 2 billion automotive group, presented, let's see, conducted, verified deposits.
It should be the sales number or the market number.
Sales, total sales, yeah, total sales.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe confirmation letter. Executed. Confirmation letters. Completed. To the computers. Data. I like what you had. Let's see here. See. That's okay for now. All right, and then this is probably going to have to be reduced quite a bit. I would just I'm not sure we have space for all of this. you worked there for a period of time, August to December, and then August, okay. I'd see if you could just pick one bullet point from each of those, whichever it is that you want, and leave it like that, if you could. Just to pick one. And I could work on that with you. Let's see, skills. And then
skills are helpful, but I don't know. These
are not, if you have space, you can do it, but it's not required because we need to take this to 11-point font minimum and work in that font with that formatting. And as you can see, it's going on to the second page. And this is really, really important to you and your history, and is very clear sign of what a good student you are. And yet, I'm not sure we have space for it on the resume. Not sure.
Okay.
If we can, let's try to make it in there. It's great that you have an accounting background. That's going to make people really interested in hiring you. I think that's kind of like the secret desire of everybody, is to hire somebody who understands accounting. Your LinkedIn doesn't have to be here. It's okay if it is. So it doesn't have to be. We want to have enough space to fit everything on. See if we can, what can we do to just fix the formatting here? Well, one thing I see is that the indentations here are quite large. We don't need to have that much space between all of these. So we can actually come in here and bring those out like that. I think that would be just fine. And I don't think we need that much space. And see if we were to change the indentation here. That's a little bit, it's not enough. I like some indentation. I don't know that, I like some. I don't know that it has to be that much. I like some. No, probably not it. We want to try to find one that is just right. And might take a minute here. Figure that out. So not the spacing. And then we want to bring that same formatting approach to all the other bullet points here. Let's see here. It's nice when things start to appear on one line. I mean, if you have an English name, I would use it. If you don't have an English name, then don't use it. But if you have an English name, then use it everywhere.
So I don't have to be consistent with my passport?
I mean, eventually when you sign a legal document, you should probably be consistent, but you don't have to. I mean, but that's like when you sign an offer and they need the proper name to give you the offer, you probably need to make it your formal name. But that's later. I mean, you might have to have there might be something, yeah.
That's like if you're being hired and they need to know what your bank account information is and what your legal name is, then fine. But your resume is not a legal document. You don't have to None of this has to be 就是验证. None of this has to be, you know, you don't have to have it notarized.
Okay.
You don't have this.
Okay, no problem.
This is a marketing document. This is for marketing purposes. You're trying to get a job, and so you want to. If you have an English name, you should use it because most of the people you'll talk to are going to be English speakers.
Okay.
So here, so let's see, supported 100% increase. Base increase. Now, 100% client base is nice, but maybe like you help them also raise revenues. So maybe the revenues is more interesting because the 100% increase in client base might just be like you went from one client to 2 clients. That's not as interesting as a 30% growth in revenue or a 20% growth in revenue. That's probably more interesting than a 100% client base increase. So I would go find out what you achieved in terms of revenue growth by adding those over those 3 months, okay?
Okay, but I don't know. Okay.
You don't know? What do you mean you don't know? You're the business development manager,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So, cause we are a startup, and my job is to get like close as much customers as possible.
Yeah.
And it will be a long way for us to really make money from them, I think.
So you don't make any money right now?
Yeah.
You don't charge a fee?
Cause we only charge like 1% commission fee, so it's pretty small.
Right. But getting in those 3 months when you got 100% increase in your client base, what percent did your revenue increase? Even if it's a 1% fee, you made some money, right? So if you had 100% increase in your client base, maybe you had a
Yeah, I know that would be more like effective, but I don't really think it would be appropriate for me to ask my boss about this question.
And you don't have any way to tell what that is?
Not really. We're just a small company.
Okay. Because the increase in revenue is, okay, that's fine. By developing and implementing digital transformation for local restaurants, bars, coffee shops. And then you don't have to have this, but if you can, if you add that, I think it's just it adds a little bit of sophistication. If you can say, basically something about the size of the restaurant, bar, or coffee shop. Under 20 million in revenue,
Okay.
under 10 million in revenue, whatever. Just have something there. I think it'll look nicer. Also, like I say here, I think actually adding a middle initial, oftentimes when we add a middle initial to things, that makes the name look a little bit more official, a little bit more mature. So actually using me at P Swen and P as your first name and making that an initial, I think that'll make it look kind of nice. Okay, so a little bit, maybe you never heard that before, but I kind of like that. It makes the name look a little bit, anyway, you don't have to have it. It's up to you. Mia Swen's fine too. Credico, leading global network of independent digital marketing agencies, corporate trainer, sales team leader, recognized as top 5% salesperson of 300, you don't say out of 300 in national rankings by conducting B2B sales, or okay, fine. Grew sales 20% by training team of 5 on industry trends, fine. Next one, IQVIA. If you have a space to write something about what that is, that might be good. But IMS consulting people know about, so generally. Business analyst intern, optimize market access strategies for a $100 million medical product by conducting peer benchmark sales performance analysis informed by clinicians and patients. So data set, well, data set. Relation to the questionnaires. Insights in the form of presentations, models, and dashboards for delivery to client. I think that's okay. Again, I'm just looking for formatting here now. Assisted 200 plus audit working papers for audit performed variation analysis across subsidiaries. Assisted 200 plus. Okay, verified company deposits by sending over 90 confirmation requests to banks, and analyzing it's fine. And then, okay, so we're kind of on one page now. I think we're getting pretty close. Coursework, analytics, financial modeling, statistical analysis, fund reporting, mergers and acquisitions. I would say coursework could be there. You could have that there. I think it's fine. I'm just going to remove coursework. If that's okay. Coursework. The problem is if we keep it in there, statistical analysis, financial reporting, M&A. I might just call this statistics if that's okay.
Okay, okay.
And then that saves us space. All right, so why don't you see how does this look to you now?
Okay.
We've made it bigger. We've tried to, you've done a lot of good work on it already. So it was easier to work from a document where you spent some time. So that was nice. I'd say in addition, we can, I don't think we need to make the cities in bold. Oops. I think we can just remove the country names, make it simpler, less New York, Shanghai, Beijing, Xi'an. Everybody knows about Xi'an, Washington, D.C.
Really?
Sure. Terracotta Warriors. I've been there several times. All right.
Okay.
All right. I think now do we have enough space here? I might introduce a space. Let's see. I don't want this to be italicized. Not necessary. Leadership, education. You could introduce a space there or not. Either way is fine. You don't have to have your skills there, but if they're asking for specific skills like Tableau or certain kinds of R or SQL, if that's stuff that you're working on, basically my advice to you when you're preparing something like this, and I'll have more training videos that I'll put up soon to show you, but if you don't have a skill that you could easily get on your resume, then I would just state yourself as having that skill already. And then when you get the interview, becoming familiar with that skill. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, so my advice on so overall, what you're going to find is that you're going to find when you're applying for a job online, you're going to find that there are, how do I want to say this? So when you're applying for a job online, you want to tailor your resume to the job description to the extent you can. And sometimes there are going to be qualities or required skills that you might not yet have. What you want to do in that situation is if these skills you can acquire or become familiar with in a short period of time, if you don't yet have them, you want to go ahead and put them on your resume. Now, why? It's because that when you get the interview, if you get the interview, you will have a time assigned for your interview date. Then you'll have time between that date that you're notified and the actual interview date to get familiar with the concepts. So now, if you're really starting from, if you've done anything about a very complex computer language, you're not going to, you will probably not add that on your resume. If they require, if you want to become a software programmer and you know no software, that's probably not going to be a good fit. But let's just say we're talking about SQL or R or Python. Now, you can include those on your resume, okay? And even if it's a bit of a stretch and you know nothing about SQL, but you have a lot of other qualities that they're looking for, you just don't have SQL or Python, you can put that on your resume with the understanding that by the time you get the interview, you're going to become familiar with that material. Does that make sense?
Okay. So do you think there's skills I should list there?
So what I'm
Is it
talking about,
necessary?
there is a, yes, I mean, for now, this resume that we just worked on in the absence of a cover letter or say a job description is fine for now. But what I'm encouraging you to do is when you get a job description, take that quality section and further customize it if possible. Okay.
If possible. So if there are some skills that,
Okay.
so imagine you come across a job description and you're really excited about this job and you're missing some of the traits that this job description is calling for. What I recommend you do is to put those on your resume as though you are familiar with them. Maybe not expert, but familiar with them. Okay? So when you put a programming skill or a other kind of skill on your resume and you're not familiar with it, that's not okay. But if you find there is a gap in your skill set and the desired skill set, and that gap is not large, and you can fill it in with some notice, like read a book or do a training online and become familiar with it, then at that point, I want you to put that information on your resume as you having had it, and then submit the application. Does that make sense?
Okay. Makes sense.
Then get the interview, get skilled up to the extent possible, at least be familiar with the material. And then when you interview, the decision as to whether to hire you or not is not going to be based on just one skill. Like, oh, she didn't have SQL, or she did have SQL, and therefore SQL, and therefore she's hired or not. It's going to be a decision based on the balancing of different factors. She's great at her presentation skills. She's got a wonderful smile. She's confident. She's able to present a concept easily. She makes a strong case as to why she wants to work here. Okay? These are things that people are going to look at as well as the skills. So if you're missing something on the resume, realize in your background, realize that you can add it on the resume and then prepare so that you do have at least familiarity with something before the interview date.
Okay.
Hopefully that's helpful.
Yeah, it's helpful. Thank you very much.
Good.
So I'd say that's probably enough for today as far as your resume. Why don't you go back and then identify a job to which you want to apply, and then let's further customize that resume and develop the cover letter, and then we can discuss those as well.
Okay. So like how many target company and position should I prepare?
Well, I would say, I would say if you can apply to 3, 5, or 10 jobs a day, by all means do it, but realize that you need to follow up on those applications. So a lot of people, they will, I get this question a lot, how many jobs should I apply to a day? And I would say that depends on your capacity and willingness to follow up. So if you're somebody who's not willing to follow up on a job application, not willing to email or get connected on LinkedIn or pick up the phone, then your job applications are going to fall short of your expectations. But if you can apply to 2, 3, 5, or more jobs per day with the understanding that you're going to follow up on the application, you maybe don't know who the hiring manager is, but you're going to reach out on LinkedIn, make some educated guesses, and reach out to them using the trainings that we have here, then fine. Start with one. Okay, just start with one application, one customized cover letter. Get that done, get that sent, follow up. Once you get that one sent, move on to the next one. Why don't you see for yourself to start how many you can process in a day, how many applications you can make in a day, because you're going to get better and better as time goes on. Right now, starting from scratch, without further improvement, it might take hundreds of, it might take a long time. But each time you apply and make an attempt, you're going to get better. So the number of applications that you need to make will decrease as you get better at making them, because you'll just be more attractive as a candidate. You'll know better how to follow up. So I would say right now, find relevant companies, do research to find out which companies are interesting to you, find open positions, make applications to them, post into the Facebook group with your questions, and get into a rhythm of applying to some every day, as well as running your networking every day, so that the net result is you're frequently hopping on phone calls with the people in your target industry.
Okay.
So how many companies you should prepare? 30, 50 to start, and then realizing that number of companies and who those companies are, which they are, is going to change over time as you go through your list.
Okay. And
Start with the top
one
30.
question. So
30. Start with the top 30 consulting companies.
okay, I will. Yeah. So the current version of resume, is it good for me to like send?
Like I said, yeah, generally speaking, but the customization piece of the job is of the professional summary and the qualities should be there. So as long as you understand that requires some customization, yes, this is ready to go. But you are also the final judge of, are there any spelling mistakes? Is there a missing period here or an extra period there? That level of detail. Do the margins all line up? That kind of final proofreading I need you to do.
Okay, I see. So when do you think we'll have the next meeting so we can talk about these things?
Well, we're kind of done with the one-on-one resume review that we had discussed about doing. I want you to eventually become independent of me and have your own ability to prepare resumes and cover letters. If you have a specific job to which you want to apply and you want to prepare another resume and cover letter customized to that job description, then we can discuss that one as well. But it won't necessarily, I'm not planning that this become a regular, one-on-one that we do. This is designed to get you started, and then maybe we have another call
when you're ready like this. We could do this again, but this is not something that we will be repeating on a regular basis, mainly to get you going, get you feeling good about it. I would say the next step is prepare an actual application and to prepare the cover letter and resume. And why don't you post that into the Facebook group? And then from there, I can go in and make some edits and observations for you, if that would be helpful.
Okay, sounds good.
Good.
And also, can you send me the one you just added?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Have an awesome holiday weekend.
No, no plan yet.
I don't either, but still have a good weekend.
Yeah, so great weekend too.
Thanks. Good job today.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.